Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we say in Brazil, boa tarde. I would like to thank ICA for the opportunity to speak here today and to bring this panel for the second time in the ICA main program. I think Abrapa has been a long-time partner of ICA, but always holding side events, and it's been great to be part of the main program of the trade event. Our goals today are at the regional forum are to discuss the status of the Brazil's 2022 crop. We'll be going through that. Also, we're going to discuss quality of the crop as well, and the quality program that we've been holding in Brazil for the last 7 years. And we're also discussing the 2023 crop that we haven't quite started planting yet, but we have some information to share and some expectations about what's coming up for the next season. And finally, we'll present our food traceability program called Saúde EBR, which will is already delivering food traceability from farm to retailers. To do so, we gather today a group of leading industry players in Brazil that I'm very happy to gather all of them today to speak to you. And I would like to introduce them first and calling one by one. First, Mr. Miguel Fals, President of FANEA, the Brazilian Cotton Shippers Association. Please, let's welcome Miguel. I'd like also to call here Alexandre Schenkel, Vice President of Abrapa, the Brazilian Cotton Growers Association. Aurélio Pavinato, CEO of the SLC Group. Guilherme Schaffer, CFO of Schaffer Group. Walter Orita, CEO of the Orita Group. And finally, our President of Abrapa, Mr. Júlio Busato, who is going to say a few words.
I speak Portuguese. Sorry, my English is good. Meu nome é Júlio César Busato, eu sou engenheiro agrônomo, agricultor, plantador de algodão e hoje presidente da Associação Brasileira dos Produtores de Algodão. Quero aqui agradecer muito ao presidente Alex Su por ter nos convidado e nos dar a oportunidade de estarmos aqui hoje nesse painel em um evento tão importante quanto é esse evento que nós estamos aqui. Nós vamos tentar mostrar nesse painel aquilo que nós estamos construindo, aquilo que nós estamos fazendo com o algodão brasileiro. Nós temos hoje uma preocupação enorme com a competição que nós enfrentamos, principalmente com as fibras sintéticas ou outras fibras de origem vegetal. E os programas que nós vamos apresentar aqui é onde a Abrapa está buscando levar, principalmente ao mercado, mas principalmente ao consumidor final, as vantagens que o algodão tem em relação a essas outras fibras, para que nós possamos perder menos mercado ou tentar reconquistar o mercado que o algodão vem perdendo ao longo do tempo. E quais são esses programas? Nós temos o Cotton Brasil, que é a nível internacional, e o Sou de Algodão a nível de Brasil. E nós mostramos com esses programas que o algodão brasileiro tem quantidade. Somos o 4º maior produtor mundial e o 2º maior exportador mundial. Qualidade através do sistema SBR-HVI, que é um laboratório central no Brasil que checa todos os laboratórios de análise de qualidade do algodão. Nós temos rastreabilidade através do sistema Abrapa de identificação, que já tem 19 anos, e nós sabemos exatamente aonde e por quem cada fardo do algodão brasileiro foi produzido e o local onde ele foi beneficiado. E nós temos o programa Algodão Brasileiro Responsável, que é o programa de sustentabilidade mais completo hoje a nível mundial, porque ele trabalha com 3 pilares. O pilar econômico, que é o algodão tem que ser rentável para o produtor, mas tem que ser rentável também para quem participa da cadeia produtiva. O pilar social, que é cumprir 100% com as normas da Organização Internacional do Trabalho e a legislação brasileira. E o pilar ambiental, que é cumprir 100% com o Código Florestal Brasileiro. E como só o Brasil tem um Código Florestal, isso é o que torna o ABR o programa mais completo a nível mundial, e nós, produtores de algodão, preservamos em nossas propriedades mais de 40% delas com vegetação nativa. Então, essas são as nossas armas, é isso que nós estamos levando de informação para o mercado, e é isso que nós vamos mostrar aqui. E para eu não vir sozinho aqui, ficar falando um monólogo aqui, eu trouxe vários produtores experientes que vão nos ajudar e, com certeza, enriquecer esse debate. Então, desejo um ótimo evento a todos nós. Obrigado.
Thank you. Thank you, President Busato. And since we're talking about sustainability, and that's a key point in our industry, and it's going to be becoming more and more important for the entire supply chain, I would like to start showing you a video on what we mean by sustainability and what we're doing in that regard in Brazil. Please, let's play the video.
Respect for the environment and for people is much more than a feature of the Brazilian cotton industry. It is a commitment to life. The last 20 years have witnessed constant evolution in our processes in pursuit of sustainability. And that is why today, more than 80% of Brazilian cotton production is socially and environmentally certified. This level of sustainability is made possible thanks to the Responsible Brazilian Cotton Program, or ABR, which certifies cotton farms that adopt the best socio-environmental practices. Implemented by Abrapa in 2012 and working in benchmark with the Better Cotton Initiative since 2013, the ABR program sets standards, guides, and certifies farms that meet its rigorous socio-environmental compliance criteria. Production and sustainability must walk hand in hand. This is the vision of Brazilian cotton growers. Here, sustainability is taken seriously, and we focus on its 3 pillars: environmental, social, and economic. The certification process is complex and broad. There are more than 180 compliance items on ABR, from the best agricultural and environmental practices to ideal working conditions for employees.
Já no primeiro ano de certificação de uma fazenda, é necessário atingir no mínimo 85% de conformidade nos protocolos ABR e BCI. Em seguida, devem ocorrer melhorias a cada safra, até a fazenda atingir 90% de conformidade e se manter nesse patamar ou acima.
Brazil also has a certification program for its cotton ginning plants, the ABR-UBA. Farms and ginning plants are audited by independent certification companies of international reputation, ensuring credibility for the process. Also, more than 90% of Brazilian cotton is rain-fed, grown without irrigation. While sustainably using water resources, Brazil has one of the highest yields in the world. We tirelessly pursue the evolution, and we know that this requires an unwavering commitment to the environment. To preserve it responsibly is a necessity if we want to continue growing in the future. And this is what we do. For us, for you, for the planet. Cotton Brazil, growing for a better future.
Thank you. The number now is 86%. 86% of Brazil's total crop is certified by ABR and BCI. So it's a really, we are very proud of this number. Apart from the 90% without irrigation, we're getting to 90% probably next 2 years with BCI and ABR as well. Oh, now we're talking about specifically about the 2022 crop. We got here a dashboard with some indicators. So harvest is gone, as you all know, and we're still ginning the production. We talk about 89-90% ginned already, so it should be finished by Christmas. So normally that's when ginning finishes in Brazil. HVI is being on the way as well. So last numbers we have is 87% SGI tested. As you probably know, 100% of Brazil's bales are tested for HVI. We have individual results for each bale. In terms of commercialization, 85% of total bales have already been sold by farmers to the merchants. So it doesn't mean the merchants have already sold these bales. And then in terms of our exports, I mean, destination, 28% has already been exported, and we also have a strong domestic market. Brazil is the 7th largest country in terms of domestic consumption of cotton, and if 25% of our total demand for the year has already been used. Regarding some specific numbers for the year, the planted area was 1.6 million hectares, and unfortunately the yield was much lower than we expected. So the yield that should be around 1.5 tons, 11% less than the previous year, and that was because of weather. So we'll be talking more about that. So the weather in the most important regions of the country, Bahia and Mato Grosso, there was lack of rain, especially in the developing season, around March, April, and May, as you can see in these graphs, comparing to the normal rainfall that we have, and that was what caused this production reduction. So we're talking about production around 2.49. So we were expecting something close to 3 million tons this year, but that was the result of this the poor yield we had, and consequently we will be exporting for next season. I mean this season, 22-23, around 1.8 million tons, and that's on the way already. So to make some comments, I would like to ask Walter Orita to share with us his perspectives and his views of this last crop, and what could have done, and what was his expectation, and what happened for this crop.
Okay, thank you, Marcelo. My name is Walter Orita. I'm a farmer, a cotton producer in Bahia State, western of Bahia State, and we have planted the cotton since 1999, 23 years, and in the last 5 years, in average, we have planted 40,000 hectares of cotton, between 75 to 83,000 metric tons per year, depending the season. We are in a very good area to plant in dry land with no irrigation, And as Marcelo said, this last crop we had a lack of rain in March and April. Actually, we have more rain than we need in the December and January, but we have a lack in March and April, and that damage a little of our cotton field, and our production and our yield is maybe 10, 11, 10, 12% less than our previously we are expecting for this crop. Then that was the general panorama in our state, but it's not so different from Mato Grosso, and that's why our production is a little less than we are expecting. But we have we started to plant soybean for the new season, and in Mato Grosso and Bahia, the cotton we start in December and the ending of December, and the forecast for our rains, and we have a good forecast for rains for this season, and we expected for next crop to return to the normal, and maybe we can reach more than 3 million metric tons in the next crop.
Great, thank you, Walter. That's an important topic. We will be talking in the end next crop. So we should leave more room in our discussion for next crop, because I think that's what everybody wants to hear. But first, we'll talk about quality of this crop, the crop that we're exporting right now. And I'll share with you some data, information, what's happening, because since we have more than 87% of the data of the bales already. But before we go into the data, I would like to share with you a video that shows how we do quality measurements in Brazil, and how we think and how this program works. The program called SBR HVI, the Brazilian Standard HVI program. Please, let's play the video.
Imagine what 2 decades of continuous improvement have done for the quality of Brazilian cotton. From the choice of seeds to genetic breeding technologies to careful planting and management practices, combined with adequate climate conditions, everything needs to converge for plants to grow healthy and yield high-quality fiber. The state-of-the-art technologies involved in integrated management and mechanical harvesting processes support efforts that are constantly evolving. Our ginning process is efficient and modern and aims at producing high-quality cotton that is contamination-free and respects the best socio-environmental practices. 100% of the samples are tested by an integrated network of classing labs located in the main growing regions and supervised by the Brazilian Cotton Testing Reference Center. Participating labs are part of the Standard Brazil HVI program. Created in 2016, the Brazilian Cotton Quality Control Program seeks to standardize the instrumental classification of cotton in Brazil. The program trains, guides, and monitors lab performance, ensuring transparency and reliability in the results. The program provides buyers with HVI classification data for more than 80% of Brazil's cotton production on a bale-by-bale basis, plus statistical analysis of the crop. And the reliability of our HVI data grows with each season.
Hoje, o Brasil tem algodão de qualidade, que atende a todos os segmentos da indústria têxtil. E essa qualidade tem se mantido e melhorado a cada safra, nas principais características que são valorizadas pelas indústrias.
We are committed to continuous improvement. That's why we closely follow the needs of each client and have innovation in our DNA. For your next step ahead, count on Cotton Brazil. Together, growing for a better future.
Thank you. As you said, as you saw in the video, the image was quite quick. This is the network of classing labs that we have in Brazil. So we talk about 11 classing labs in all producing regions, and they are all supervised and audited by one lab that we have in Brasilia. That's called the CBRA. That keeps all labs working at the same pace, same process, and oversees quality in all of them. Now, talk about the numbers themselves. I'll be I'll be showing you the numbers, and I'll ask after I share with you the numbers, I'll ask Mr. Pavinato, CEO of SLC, to make his comments on these results. So these are results we have so far, with 87% of our crop already analyzed. So in terms of micronair, we talk about, looking at this G5, 3.5 to 4.9, we talk about still 95% within this range, which is the same as last year. So we're keeping quite stable around that. So 95% of our crop is G5 when it comes to micronair. When we look at the strength above 28 GTEX, we talk about 83, so stable as compared to last year. So 83% of the crop, 28 or above in terms of strength. When it comes to length, we had a slight reduction of length, so in above 1.11 inches. It was 84% last year. This year, 80%. That was certainly a result of the weather, the poor weather we had, and we have Pavinato commenting on that. Uniformity is quite stable, even a little bit better than last year. So from 81 to 82% uniformity, within above 80%. And short fiber. That was really a point that we acknowledged that we have to work the most in Brazil. So definitely we had a reduction this year. So it was certainly weather related. We'll see the comments coming in the sequence. But the number went down from 72% to 63% of fiber of less than 10%. Of 0.5 inch. So that's our short fiber index. Looking at the results as a whole this year, so we're performing really well in mic and in strength and length, uniformity, and still with some work to do in terms of short fiber. So please, Pavinato, feel free to make comments on these results.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Marcelo, for the invitation to be here and to talk a little bit about our cotton quality. It's interesting to analyze the evolution of the quality of our cotton in Brazil. Over the years, since we started to produce our cotton in the Cerrado region, the Brazilian Savannah region, and the evolution was intensive. And especially when we see the data, over the last 5 years, we were able to increase the quality of our cotton in all the numbers. This 22 crop year, it was an outlier year, basically due to the drought we suffered in Bahia, especially in part of Bahia, south of Bahia, not all state of Bahia, and the west part of Mato Grosso. As Mato Grosso, we are farming cotton as a second crop after soybean, and this year we almost didn't receive rainfalls after middle of March, and April and May. Normally it rains until middle of May in Mato Grosso, and this year it was a totally outlier year in terms of rainfall, so we suffer a little bit in terms of our quality. And but it's not the trend. When we see the evolution of our quality, the evolution we have reached has been quite interesting. And during the last 25 years, in the beginning, we used to farm basically 1 or 2 varieties, and now we have available in Brazil many new varieties with higher quality. So the numbers of this year should be the best in the history, based on the potential of the varieties. So the weather affected the quality of the fiber, and this is the reason the quality was lower. So when we see the future, in my view, the future is promising. We are going to improve our quality over the years. We are more and more having good varieties with high quality. All the breeding companies are developing new variety with high quality. The focus has been quality. We have a wonderful weather in Brazil for rain-fed cotton. It rains very well during the growing of the time of the plant, and it stops rain during the harvesting. So it's really the fantastic weather we have in Brazil, and our scenario for the future is quite promising to increase yields. We are increasing our yields, and to increase quality at the same time. And I'm seeing this future for our cotton and our business. So specifically this year is a problem that we face, and we are managing. Actually, all of the farmers of Brazil, we are working hard to deliver what we sold. So this year we are suffering with quality, but we are managing to meet the client's demand. And this is our target for the future, to produce more and to deliver the quality that our clients is asking for. We know that the competition against the synthetic fibers is not based on price. Is based on the way to manufacture this fiber, and we have to improve our cotton quality to compete in this market, connect with the sustainability. The good news that the society is asking for sustainable products. So cotton is a sustainable product. So I think we are going to win this war against the synthetic fibers over the years, and to improve the quality, to improve the production, and to meet the international demand. This is my comment about the quality we reach in Brazil this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavinato. A question, when you select a new variety, how much weight do you put in yield? How much weight do you put in quality?
I think the Brazilian market, my company, SLC, we have put weight in quality, I can say more than the average over the last 10 years. We have done a strong job to improve the quality. But the Brazilian farmers, everybody now is conscious about this issue, and they are selecting varieties with high quality. Actually, today has been a restriction. If no quality is not, we have the option today. In the past, few years ago, sometimes we had no option to farm this variety because the best yield, the biggest production, but not the best quality. Now we have the option in Brazil to choose a variety with high yields and high quality.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Pavinato. So moving on to the next stage today, that we're going to talk about traceability at the first level, from the farm to the ginning, and to the spinning mill, and how you can trace Brazilian cotton, how that works, and how we've been working with this. So, and to explain that in detail, and how you can get origin, sustainability data, and quality data in one place, please watch this video.
Have you ever thought about having the origin, quality, and sustainability data of each bale of cotton you buy on a single screen or report? Now, this is possible. The Brazilian cotton industry takes a step forward in providing reliable and accessible information about our production. After 20 years of dedicated work, our traceability system is able to provide the most important data that you need. Detailed information about more than 80% of the Brazilian cotton production, bale by bale, is now available online. You can access where each bale was produced, ginned, classed, if it has socio-environmental certifications, and complete HVI classification results. All you have to do is go to cottonbrazil.com/traceability, type the 20-digit bale ID tag number, and click Search. If the bale is in our database, you will have access to a full report containing the most relevant information about production origin, sustainability, and HVI data. And from 2022 onwards, our bale tags come with a QR code that spells full traceability of the cotton you buy in an easy and fast way, all in the palm of your hand. You just have to scan the QR code on the bale tag with your phone to access all the detailed information. Our traceability program is constantly evolving, and we are working on further transparency and innovation. For the 2022-23 marketing year, we will launch the Abrapa app, a tool that will make access to information even easier. In Brazil, we work to constantly improve the quality and sustainability of our cotton. We believe that transparency, reliability, and traceability are essential to delivering the high quality and sustainable cotton you are looking for. Cotton Brazil, growing for a better future.
Thank you. And oops, can you, all right, one back. And to demonstrate how that works, if you want, you can use your phone and scan this QR code and find out that's the real example of a cotton bale from Brazil. So if you scan that, you get all the information: what farmer, what farm, what gening plant, and whether they have certification, ABR, and what the quality specs are, and everything you need to know from the farmers and gening perspective. Now we move on to our next topic, which is a 2023 outlook and exports. And to start, I would like to first share with you a simple view of Brazil's calendar. So right now, we haven't quite started planting cotton in the country. So we have basically two production systems in Brazil. One, and both of them are rain-fed. So we only have 8% of our cotton that's not rain-fed, receives some irrigation part, supplementary irrigation, not 100% irrigated. And so basically one system, it's mainly in the Mato Grosso state, that runs soybeans and cotton in the same season. So right now, farmers are finishing planting soybeans, and the soybeans are going to be harvested from the end of December until February, and within that window, corn or cotton is planted. So mainly corn, but also in the prime area, farmers use for planting cotton. And in the other regions of the country, you have single crop, and that's mainly planted end of November and onwards, and it's also harvested the same period around from June, July onwards. The map also shows where cotton is produced in Brazil. So the main two states are Mato Grosso and Bahia, accounting for together around 90% of the total production of the country. Regarding the scenario for the 2023 crop, we have did some homework here, and I would like to share with you some of our views. I mean, we talk about, in terms of weather, we're expecting better weather this year. So the start of the season has been promising. Soybeans has never been planted so fast as it has this season. So which means that there's going to be a very optimal window for planting cotton as soon as the soybean is harvested. Around 60% of Brazil's cotton area is in rotation with soybeans. So it's very important, this number. And also we have above normal forecast for November and December when it comes to weather. In terms of cost and credit, we're seeing naturally increase in cost of production, about 29 to 30% or 35, depending on who you talk to, in dollar terms. So that's significant from one year over year. But the good thing is the inputs have already been purchased and they are already delivered at the farm. So farmers are stocked and they have the inputs on farm already. In terms of margins, we're expecting much lower margins this year than farmers expected in the last few years, but still margins are positive at this price levels. And 51% of the crop that is still to be planted has already been sold mainly to merchants, and which means farmers are hedged, that they use this as a hedging tool for in their production. And in terms of logistics, we're seeing exports picking up, and then at a much faster pace than last year, which we had a larger crop. So our pace is 28% faster than last year. Miguel will elaborate more on that certainly, and container availability seems to be back to at least close to normal. So regarding production forecast, these are the numbers that we're expecting for 2023. We don't see an expansion in terms of area. So we're talking about, say, 1% increase. So these are the numbers that we've been discussing with farmers. So increase will be limited in terms of area. But on the other hand, we expect to see yield back to normal. So around 1.77, 1.8 tons per hectare, which is going to bring us close to 3 million tons, which is going to be not a record crop, but very close to our record crop. So I'll stay here, and now I would like to ask Guilherme to make some comments, Guilherme, on what you see, whether these numbers make sense, and what you as a leading farmer in Mato Grosso and also internationally think about this projections for next year.
Thank you, Marcelo. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Marcelo, for the question. It's a pleasure to be here. I think Brazil has a very, like you saw, 70% of our production is in Mato Grosso, and most of that is a second crop, as Marcelo said. So it's very resilient in lower price period, because we are getting the nitrogen for the soybean, and we share the cost between two crops on the fixed cost. Also in Bahia State, we have it's not two crops, but it's very high yields compared with Mato Grosso, so it's also give a good and closer to the port. So I think this prices now doesn't let us decrease the area. It's probably going to keep the area or even a small growth, because most of the cases cotton competes with corn in the second crop, and normally cotton is much better than corn. Even though the corn has rose a little bit, but still cotton is our main cash generation. And also because investment, most of the farmers, most of the companies made in the ginnings, in the people, it's hard to switch for corn, because we are a heavy asset, a heavy team. So for us, it makes more sense keeping in cotton. Another thing that helps also, I think, is this culture of most of the farmers has to sell forward, as 50% is already sold, 51% have sold of the next crop. Some farms sold already 24, just a little, but started. So it helps a lot, because of that, most of the farmers sold 50% now, because they bought the inputs 1 year and a half ago. And so that locks the margins. I mean, not wonderful, but it's still good margins compared with if we just buy and sell in different moments. So I think this strategy that most farmers have of hedging the business as a business helps the resilience of Brazilians to offer cotton in the road and growing year by year. Sometimes grow more, sometimes grow less, but I think we are probably keeping or growing the area. And we still have a lot of areas to develop. I mean, areas that's already open, like soybean corn, that can be converted to soybean cotton. It's just a question of timing and better margins. The cost is still high compared with before COVID. It rose almost the double, triple, the fertilizer, and then fell about 30%. So it has space to fall a little more. So I think these drivers, mainly the price of the cost of production, fertilizer inputs, and the price of cotton itself, will be the bigger drivers to speed up or not the growth of Brazil. But at least keeping, I think it makes a lot of sense for the farmers who are growing in Brazil.
Thank you, Guilherme. Thank you. I would like to ask Alexandre Schenkel to hear his perspectives as well about next crop. I think that's the main topic so far. You know, what's going to happen when you guys start planting?
sorry, in Portuguese, please.
Could you please put your phones on?
Obrigado pelo convite à ICA, né, e também ao Marcelo pelas explicações aqui e os apontamentos. E não muito diferente do que o Guilherme falou sobre as preocupações desse próxima safra, né? Nós tivemos aí um início muito bom. Como vocês viram, nós temos dois sistemas de plantio no Brasil. Um plantio único, né, que você planta uma cultura durante o ano todo, que é uma cultura do algodão, e também aquele que você faz 2 safras, né, double crop. Então, isso aí é importante a gente estar num ponto de vista do que ocorreu agora nas chuvas lá no Mato Grosso, para você poder plantar, startar o plantio da soja. Nós terminamos 85% do plantio da soja até 28 de outubro. Isso significa que nós vamos ter uma boa janela de plantio já para a segunda safra, que é do algodão, que é o caso da grande maioria do plantio lá dentro do Mato Grosso. Isso aí vai fazer com que a gente tenha algumas vantagens ainda, como o Pavinato sempre fala, né, é uma das lavouras um custo um pouco menor. Nós sabemos que o grande desafio é o mercado. Aqui a gente está num evento onde a gente fala praticamente de mercado, né, do algodão, e isso aqui vai ser o grande desafio para o produtor para o próximo ano, comparar. O Guilherme fez alguns apontamentos, mas comparar se é viável ou não. Então, alguns produtores já optaram por plantio de soja, de milho, e agora nós vamos aguardar aí algum pouquinho de mercado para ver se em janeiro a gente amplia um pouquinho mais de área. Mas a perspectiva nossa aqui do Brasil, do nosso estado lá do Mato Grosso também, mas é que mantenha-se a mesma área, podendo ser até uma ampliação e até mais investimentos em tecnologia para poder ter uma produtividade um pouco maior para 2023. Mas o que o Marcelo apontou aqui, o que nós estamos falando aqui para vocês, é mostrar os resultados que a gente veio construindo ano após ano, a evolução que nós tivemos do algodão brasileiro, seja em qualidade, né, Pavinato, as escolhas por materiais. Nós temos materiais produtivos com boa qualidade, e é isso que a gente está preocupado, olhando um pouco o nosso consumidor. Não somente as indústrias têxteis, porque as indústrias têxteis também são cobradas pelas empresas de marcas, de roupa, tudo, querendo saber se o produto tem sustentabilidade, tem responsabilidade, e também essas novidades que estão tendo no mercado hoje. Nós assistimos hoje a palestra dos nossos amigos australianos, colegas australianos, que também são produtores de algodão, onde é que também estão se preocupando em mostrar resultados com rastreabilidade e principalmente com a sustentabilidade do produto que estão sendo produzido. E isso nós já investimos, já trabalhamos muitos anos para a gente chegar nesse nível que estamos hoje. Nós vimos aí níveis de bases para o Brasil, para a próxima safra, 2023, essa última safra, onde mostrou uma devolução em cima do que a gente já investiu em cima, na evolução que nós tivemos aí na qualidade e na responsabilidade do nosso algodão, nosso produto. Então, nós vamos manter, apesar de a gente saber se vai ter aumento ou não de área do Brasil, mas tenho certeza que nós vamos produzir com essa mesma responsabilidade, mesma preocupação com os nossos clientes lá na frente, e agora com mais rastreabilidade, mostrando aonde a gente está, como a gente está produzindo, com quem que a gente está produzindo, e pode ter certeza que vão ser uns produtos muito bons aí, que mantém esse nível aí de eficiência, né, do Brasil, e mostrar também que cada vez mais nós vamos estar querendo evoluir e mostrar melhor resultado aí para todo mundo. Esperamos uma boa safra, torcemos para que as chuvas venham, né? Veio agora na soja, mas nós vamos ter que ter muito ainda para poder chegar em julho, agosto do ano que vem, ter maio, julho e agosto do ano que vem, a gente ter uma produção muito boa e um produto aí ser entregue para o mundo inteiro.
Thank you, Schenkel. Thank you. Yes.
Can I add something?
Sure.
I just forgot. I think this higher cost of production is a very good in the long term for us, because never before we have looked and searched for new solutions in terms of fertilizer, or changing the fertilizer or changing the chemicals for something more cheap and more ecological friendly also. I think it's a good opportunity for Brazil and for the rest of the world to develop for new tools. I think it's good in the long term.
Nice, good point, Guilherme. Very good point.
Poder produzir com um menor custo ainda para poder fechar a conta no final, né?
Yeah,
Mas manter a qualidade e a produtividade.
great. Excellent. So now we move on to exports. I would like to pass on the remote to Miguel. Miguel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marcelo. Good afternoon, everybody. You want me to move that? Okay. What has been done with the Brazilian producers in these last 20 years is remarkable, especially from 2016 to 2020. They just doubled the production and increased the quality. So we've seen here what all these gentlemen are capable of doing. So Brazil is going to continue on this trend. This year, with the actual size of the crop, we're going to export 1.8 million tons for next year, provided the 3 million ton production is achieved. Brazil will export close to 2.2, 2.3 million tons, which is very close to the record we had in 2014. Brazil has the logistics that are required to export this volume. We have proved that in 2020. In just 2 months, Brazil exported 700,000 tons. So I think we have what it takes in terms of quality, in price, in conditions to be able to keep with this production and export level. And looking ahead, we made a very simple study at ANIA, looking 10 years ahead. And if we consider that the profitability for the farmers will continue during these years, that there is a market that is going to buy the Brazilian cotton, and if we consider a very conservative growth rate of 5% per year, by 2033, Brazil will be able to be producing something around 4.5 million tons and exporting 3.5 million tons, being probably, we hope, the first major exporter of cotton in the world. So we are looking forward to this objective, and I hope we can do it even sooner than that. For that, what is very important is the markets that we export to. We export to the main Asian markets, are the same ones that our strong competitors like Australia and US export, and we have to share and divide those markets with them. So we hope that we will have enough quality, price, timing, conditions to be able to comply with the volumes that and the sales that we want to do, and increase our market share in these important markets. This will be the key. It's not good just to produce if you don't have to whom to sell. We also expect that the Brazilian market, the local market, will increase. It has been in the 700,000 tons volume for many years. We hope, we expect they can increase to 900,000, 1 million. So with all that combined, and with this production target, I think in 10 years we'll be able to get there. So, but will depend on the markets, will depend on the everything that has been done in terms of quality, traceability, reliability. So when you buy Brazilian cotton, you can trust on what you're buying, and you can be confident that you're going to get what really bought and you need. And that was, thank you very much, Marcelo. That's what I had to say.
Thank you, Miguel. It's very good to have so many presidents here. So well put, and it's very important to see your views about, and it's really, please send me this study. I didn't, if you can share with me, I would love to read, the study that you just mentioned, that Brazil will soon be the largest exporter. Well, now we move on to our last topic, and that's a very innovative initiative by RAPA with focusing on traceability, full traceability from farm to fashion. That's called Sold ABR. It's a Brazilian name so far. We are operating with some retailers, including the largest retailer in the country, largest Renner. And to talk about this, I would like to pass on to President Julio Bussato to make the introduction of the program. Julio, the floor is yours.
Ok, Marcelo, obrigado. Eu trouxe essa calça aqui para mostrar para vocês, que é o exemplo desse programa que nós temos, que é o SOA-BR. E o que é isso? Rastreabilidade de ponta a ponta e sustentabilidade e certificação. Desde a semente plantada do produtor, como nós tínhamos a sustentabilidade pelo ABR, nós tínhamos a rastreabilidade pelo SAI. Aí nós pensamos, por que nós não fazemos isso para toda a cadeia até chegar no cabide da loja? E fizemos, certificamos algodoeiras, fiações, fábricas de tecidos, tecelagens, quem costura roupa, até chegar na loja. E a mensagem é assim, para o comprador final. Se você adquirir essa peça de roupa, você vai saber toda a história, desde a semente plantada até chegar aqui. Tudo certificado, tudo rastreado via blockchain. E se vocês apontarem, não está lá, Marcelo, o celular de vocês, para o QR Code que está ali, vocês vão ver a história dessa calça, que eu vou deixar depois exposta aí, para quem quiser ver. Então, esse programa iniciou com 2 lojas, mas nós estamos chegando agora a mais de 1.200 marcas parceiras. E quem são essas marcas parceiras? São marcas que vão tirar o algodão do fundo da loja e trazer para a vitrine da loja. E o que vai estar trazendo junto? Rastreabilidade e sustentabilidade. Então, é isso que nós nos propomos, e hoje é o programa de sustentabilidade e rastreabilidade, eu acho que em larga escala, o primeiro a nível mundial. Então, Marcelo, para mim, nós vamos às perguntas agora? É isso?
Vídeo, né?
Vamos passar o vídeo para que vocês vejam o SOA-BR.
Could you please bring the video?
Ever heard of Responsible Brazilian Cotton Certification Protocol, known as ABR for short? It all starts back on the farm, where certified cotton production must meet 183 criteria related to the environmental labor laws and to economic transparency to be certified. With proven origin, ABR cotton is moved from the farm to the ginning plant, where the lint is separated from the seed and from impurities. Now to the spinning mill. This is where the certified fiber is transformed into yarn before moving to the next step. Now the yarn is combined and interlaced on looms until finally taking the form of woven or knit fabric. Garment manufacturing is the next stop. Here, the clothes are ready to be sold. And after this long journey, clothes go to stores or e-commerce channels. There, you choose ABR cotton in some of our partner outlets and get to know the entire path it's taken, all thanks to a QR code and blockchain. Traceable from farm to closet.
Right. I think now we are ready for the questions. I mean, could you put up the Slido so that we can take questions? Great. All right. So I can see the questions now. Right. How many brands and retailers have adopted QR code for traceability? For the ones that have, are they paying a premium? Júlio, quantas marcas estão adotando o QR Code, né, o SODBR, e se elas estão pagando um prêmio, né, e como que o retailer consegue, que o varejista consegue verificar a rastreabilidade do tecido, outra pergunta, e quanto, aí essas duas, o rosto já vou falar da mais qualidade. Could you put your radio on, Julio? We answer these 2 questions in Portuguese. So the questions are, how many, you're not seeing the questions, right? Okay, how many brands and retailers have adopted the QR code for traceability? And for the ones that have, are they paying a premium? Second question is how can the retailer verify the traceability on the fabric? So that's the 2 questions Mr. Bussato is going to answer.
Olha, infelizmente, nós não estamos recebendo prêmio nenhum por isso, nós, produtores, né? Mas nós estamos levando isso ao mercado e a gente sabe que, se o consumidor comprar uma camisa de sintético, a indústria fabrica uma camisa de sintético e põe lá. Agora, se ele comprar de algodão, aí a indústria fabrica uma camisa de algodão. Então, eu acho que, na verdade, essa é a grande aposta, né? Claro que as marcas devem se beneficiar nisso no futuro e talvez haja esse reconhecimento, porque, afinal de contas, a nossa sustentabilidade através do algodão brasileiro responsável, que hoje gera 42% de todo o algodão BCI do mundo e que é 34% de todo o algodão certificado do mundo, inclusive os orgânicos. Teve muito trabalho, muita dedicação por parte de nós, produtores, e um custo enorme. Então, nós esperamos que, no futuro, isso seja reconhecido economicamente. Porém, até o momento, não estamos vendo isso. Nós só começamos com 2 marcas que aceitaram fazer isso, mas agora nós vamos abrir para mais de 1.200 marcas. Então, aí, realmente vai tomar grandes proporções. Segunda pergunta?
Como que o retailer, que o varejista consegue verificar a rastreabilidade?
Sim.
Como é que isso é verificado?
É que tudo é através do blockchain. Então, primeiro, o produtor tem que ser ABR, BCI, e tem que ter a rastreabilidade através do SAI. Então, quando a fiação vai fazer o fio daquele algodão, ela tem que passar o leitor, o QR Code, e isso já migra para o blockchain. Aí, essa fiação, ela tem que ter todos os certificados e ela, quando leva para a malharia, eles têm as notas fiscais que comprovam isso e eles também têm que passar para o blockchain, né? E assim sucessivamente até chegar no cabide da loja.
Thank you, Mr. Bussato. Now you have several questions here. We'll move on to the next one regarding quality. To you, Pavinato, if you could. How much quantity of strict middling grade cotton is expected for 2022 and 23? And how much will be available for exports? Is the percentage of strictly middling grade increasing?
Start
21, 2.
Yeah. Start from the last part of the question. It has been increased. The quality of our cotton, and automatically the strict middling has increased. This year, the share will be lower. I don't have the exact numbers how much will be this year, but when you see the trend line, it is increasing, and as our industry in domestic market, they consume the high quality cotton as well. In the past, Brazilian industry used to consume low quality cotton. Now they like high quality cotton as well. So the exports, it's a share of the production. If today Brazil the consumption is 700,000 tons, so the share of our production goes to export and goes to domestic market based on the quality we produce. For next year, we hope that the quality will be higher. So we hope that they will have more strict meeting to sell to the market.
Thank you, Pavinato. Two questions regarding cost of production here, Guilherme. I would like you or whoever else want to take this question as well. Walter, you said cost of production has risen 25%. It was actually 29%. So what's the cost of production now? That's a question. And second, they are all related. With the corn-cotton spread trading at historical highs, why aren't more Brazilian farmers switching into corn like U.S. farmers with a similar fixed cost base?
Okay. Well, concerning to the cost for this crop 22-23 that we are planting right now, I think it's 25 to 30% around, maybe a little bit more than 25 in average. Depends the time that the farmer bought the inputs. Okay, some farm maybe more than 30% in dollar, and the costs depend. In Bahia State, we have just one crop. It's different from Mato Grosso that. The most of cotton is planted after soybean. The first crop of soybean, they planted the cotton. Then cotton is a little bit lower cost than Bahia. For Bahia, we can talk about $3,200 per hectare for the next crop. But I think the most of this cost is come from the high price of fertilizer that last few months, and that reached the top, and that start going down again. And then for the next crop, 23, 24, maybe our cost will reduce maybe 8-10%. Then that's less crop. That is my feeling, my thought about cost of cotton for this crop and the next crop, and about how we can switch from
a pergunta foi o seguinte: porque nesse diferença de preço que está tendo entre o algodão e o milho, produtores americanos estão migrando para o milho porque está sendo mais compensador com essa relação de preço atual. Por que a gente não está vendo essa migração para o milho no Brasil, como está sendo nos Estados Unidos? Essa é a pergunta que foi feita aqui.
I think the migration for American farmers from they will plant more corn. It's not reducing cotton. I think the balance is from soybean and corn. But I heard that the next crop in America, the producer will plant much, maybe more, until 30% less cotton than last crop. But that is, I think, is because the low price. It's not because the balance of switch from the one crop to the other.
Okay, thank you. Guilherme, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, just to add, I think why we're not changing, because the differential of yields in Brazil and US in corn is big. So for us, corn is much less profitable than corn in US. Here we make 6 tons per hectare. They make 12 and more tons per hectare. So that's changed everything.
And that's the other way around in cotton as well. In cotton, like they produce half.
The opposite of cotton.
Yeah, and we produce more. So it's.
And Marcelo, Brazil just started to export cotton for last years. Then the logistics for export corn last years, and the logistics to export corn is high for us. Then if you have you plant much corn in Brazil, and our production surpass maybe more than 120 million tons, we need to export necessarily. On the other hand, the price in the internal price will go down, different from cotton. That the most is the the price is formed based on New York board.
Okay, thank you, Walter. Bill, I mean, you still have a few questions, but I think we're like, we have to finish, right? Okay, good. Sorry, guys, we're gonna have to finish. We have other questions, but please reach out to us if you have more questions. If you, I mean, some of them are not identified here, and we will be happy to take your questions afterwards. But I would like to please ask Mr. Bussato to say his final words. Thank you.
Só para encerrarmos, por que nós, produtores no Brasil, queremos plantar mais algodão? Porque o algodão, ele nos dá um faturamento bruto 4 vezes maior do que a cultura da soja e emprega 5 vezes mais pessoas com empregos de qualidade. E nós precisamos realmente gerar emprego e renda em regiões que necessitam muito disso, que é a região principalmente do Cerrado, né? E o algodão que pode ajudar muito nessa questão. O que nós precisamos para cultivar mais algodão? Nós precisamos rentabilidade da cultura e nós precisamos de mercado. E é nisso que a Brapa vai continuar trabalhando incansavelmente. Então, um bom evento a todos e o meu muito obrigado. Descemos.